Hi and welcome. My name's Tolan and I'm the co-founder of Productivity Me. In this video, we're going to look at how to move, copy, and group worksheets within a single Microsoft Excel workbook. So with that, if you're interested, go ahead and follow us now. All right, so if you want to follow along, go ahead and download exercise file 11.03. That's what we'll be using in this video. Now, say that our company, that of tech company, has 4 different products, maybe computers, tablets, smartphones, and accessories. And here we're tracking their 2012 sales. Now, if you want to move a worksheet from one place to another, perhaps the fastest way to do that is to take your cursor, scroll over the worksheet you want to move, right click with your mouse, and then drag and drop. So that's a pretty fast way to move those worksheets. Now, if you want to move it, you can also come up here and I guess with your mouse, you would right click and then go to move or copy, and you'll have a series of choices. You can either move within your existing workbook, as we'll do now. You can move to a new workbook or to another open workbook. Let's go ahead and just keep it in this specific workbook. And we want to move it before what? Maybe we'll move it before tablets. So we hit OK and it would be moved here. If we want our accessories to be the first tab here, we could either drag and drop, or we could right click and then go to move and then select our location and hit OK. Now accessories is in the first position. If we wanted to, we could go ahead and move this icon to another workbook, either a new workbook by coming here to new workbook and hitting OK. Then Microsoft Excel will generate a new workbook, and as we scroll over here to 1103, you'll notice that accessories is no longer here. If, on the other hand, we were in a workbook and we wanted to move this Excel spreadsheet to an existing workbook, we could right click, go to move or copy, and then select the book that we want. Let's say we want to move it to 11.03. We choose the location, maybe we want to move it to the end, and we hit OK. And now we have that new position. Now, just like we can move individual worksheets, we can create copies of them. The first method to create a copy would be to press and hold the Control key. And then while pressing and holding the Control key, you would select that worksheet with your mouse by left clicking and then drag and drop, and that would create a copy. You can tell that it created a copy because essentially it put the name of the spreadsheet, that of sales, parentheses, accessories, and then parentheses 2. If we were to create another copy of this by pressing and holding the Control key and then dragging and dropping, it would call it sales accessory 3. So I'm going to delete this by right clicking and then going to delete, right click and delete. Now we're back to our 4 individual tabs. Now another way to create a copy would be to right click and go to move or copy. And then just like before, we have 3 options. We can move it to a new workbook, we can move it to an existing workbook, or within the same workbook that we have open here, that of 1103. Let's stay within this workbook, but rather than move it, we want to create a copy. So we'd check this little box and then maybe move to end and hit OK. And you'll notice that it generates a copy. Alternatively, we could say select smartphones. We could go to move or copy, create a copy, and then move one to a new workbook. Hit OK. Excel will create a new workbook, in this case workbook 4, and we have a copy of sales smartphones. And then if we come back here, sales of smartphones is still available. So the last topic we want to cover is the idea of grouping or selecting multiple worksheets. Now, there are 2 or 3 ways to do this. The first way is to press and hold the Control key and then left click on the additional worksheets you want to be in a group. You can tell that it's in a group because here under, or I guess after the Excel file name, there's brackets group, which indicates that you have multiple spreadsheets selected. If you want to deselect one of those individual worksheets, you would click onto a worksheet that is not part of that group. So say we had this worksheet here and this worksheet here selected, we could click on sales accessories parentheses 2 and it would deselect it. Now, using the control key will allow you to select non-adjacent items as well as adjacent items. So let's say we want to go here and select sales for accessories, tablets, and computers, but not smartphones. If we press and hold the control key, then we can skip over smartphones and select sales of tablets and sales of computers, and then these spreadsheets would be selected. If I want to deselect it, I can press and select the smartphones one. If I wanted to select contiguous or adjacent spreadsheets, rather than press the control key, I can instead press and hold the shift key. And then here we have sales of computers selected. If I then want to select everything between sales of computers and through and including sales of accessories, I would press and hold the shift key and then left click. Just like before, if I want to deselect that, I would select a non-adjacent group and it would remove the group. So in this video, we looked at how to move individual worksheets, how to create copies of those worksheets, and then how to go ahead and group multiple worksheets. In our next video, we'll look at how to create a simultaneous change in 2 or more worksheets that we selected in a group. So if that's interesting to you, go ahead and join us in the next video. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers.